I've always had problems with my skin, and this is where you can do, you can post those pictures in the comments. So for as long as I can remember, in terms of from, like, I wasn't too bad in high school. It wasn't like an acne thing or anything, but I've, late teens. Hey, Helena.
Hey, Helena.
Late teens to definitely 20s, that kind of thing, with really bad skin around my jawline, around down on my neck, and along like cheeks and all that kind of thing. And for a long time I used to blame or look for things to blame, like hormones, or it must be the pill that I'm on, so I'd switch the pill, or it must be, what else would I blame it on? Not enough water, all that kind of thing, and never looking at what I could actually do from the inside out. So I would actually go to beauty salons and go and get a skin analysis, and they tell you whether your skin is dry or oily, or if you have combination skin and all that kind of jazz. And that's effective, but you have to work on it from the inside out for it to be effective. And people spend thousands, or mamas spend thousands and thousands of dollars on beauty treatments, when you can actually work on things from within consistently to improve your skin. So getting back to, when I did have these breakouts, and I would blame all sorts of other things, and alcohol would come into play, and everything, like bad diet, highly processed foods, all that kind of jazz. But you never want to look at that kind of thing. You want to look from the exterior. It must be because I'm not spending enough money at the beauty salon and so on. And it wasn't until I incorporated these things into my life consistently that my skin started to change. And you can't post the photos.
Nope.
Okay. So after this, I'm going to post the photos in the comment section below, because you'll be able to see my really, really poor skin around the jawline and around the neck. And then there was even a photo of when I had little Logie, which is my youngest, and I wasn't sleeping properly. And I was still trying to train, do everything, and not sleeping and not recovering. So then, because nutrition wasn't being absorbed, my skin had broken out as well, and my skin was dull and dry and practically grey at one stage when nutrition wasn't absorbing, and the low iron and things. When I started to incorporate these things into my daily plans, and it took a good 12 months to 2 years to really start seeing the difference within my skin. Nowadays, and we'll get to the reasons why, and that'll be Pete's job. Nowadays, my skin renews itself. So if I break out because I've gone out and had some wines with my mum friends or something, it recovers really quickly. So it may break out like one pimple or something, and then within a couple of days it's gone, and that's how quickly my skin is recovering, renewing, and the cells are turning over, which Pete will go into more detail. And we're going to talk about that last, or now I can talk about that.
Go for it.
Yeah. So also what we call the MP face. So when you do incorporate these things into your daily plan, what you'll notice is that people that drink a lot of alcohol, or they eat a lot of highly processed foods, will have like some chub around here, or some puffiness along the face, around the eyes, all that kind of jazz. And then once you start to improve your health from within, you start getting that chiseled jawline, and that's why we call it the MP face. And I've got photos of that as well, that you can see the difference, where I can be very puffy, and that's how you can tell what people are eating. So people can report meal diaries to me, and they can say that they're eating perfectly, when I can just look at a photo and I can tell what people are eating now.
Hey Tash, hey Debbie.
Hey Tash, hey Debbie, thanks for jumping on. So yeah, I'd like to wrap it up, ladies. I was just talking about bad skin in the past, and I could never get rid of it, and I was always trying to blame exterior things, like not drinking enough water, or not getting the best beauty treatment, not spending enough money on my facial care.
The dirt in the air.
The dirt in the air. And what else did I used to try and blame it on?
There's heaps of things.
Hormones. I used to try and blame it on hormones and pills and like contraceptive pills and stuff like that. So I even went to the doctor at one stage and I showed him and he put me on antibiotics, which then just stuffed up my gut. So I had to go and get probiotics to try and help my stomach. And you know, you look at all those sort of things without actually looking at what I could do to improve my nutrition and my health, you know, better sleep, better food, all that kind of thing. And so I was just talking about the MP face. Debbie may know that reference because I do talk about it, how, you know, once you start eliminating less junk food and really great nutrition into your daily plan, your face begins to change and you get a really distinct jawline, the puffiness goes, your skin clears and your skin turns over. Tash can definitely tell a difference with your skin, with what you're putting in your body. Absolutely. And this is, I guess as we get older too, we start to become more aware of that as well. And so now, because I know exactly what goes into my body when I do eat off the plan and I get, you know, a breakout or something, I'm like, okay, I know that now. I know why. Yep, Debbie knows too. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to hand it over to the science guy. So Right, he just can't wait to get in here. Like, calm down. It's the Megan show. It's not the Pete show. I'll hand it over to the science guy now, and he's going to tell you exactly what happens to your body and why and what you can do about it.
All right. Do you understand the term going down the rabbit hole? Rabbits, they dig a hole and they've got 20 different exits, right? And this is the thing. When you try to micro-analyze stuff, Megan had some good examples there of getting, skin tests.
Skin analysis.
And stuff like that. When you start to micro-analyze things, you can go down this rabbit hole and get lost and come out, exit and be totally, on a new path and sort of create these routines where you are spending a lot of money on facial care, on this XYZ, and then not actually really focusing on the core issues, right? And this is what we're going to talk about tonight in the science bit, is that there are two things you can do to improve your skin.
Hair and nails.
Hair and nails. And coincidentally, your body shape as well.
Yeah, that's right, the shape.
Yeah, and the health and the energy. Like there are two stones that you can throw at this stuff, and it'll kill all the birds or all the problems that you're having with your body. And those two things, I'll start with this sort of thing that I want you to constantly remember, is that your body is a result of what you did 6 months ago. So every single cell in the body, including your skin, your hair and your nails, every single cell renews itself every 6 months. And what that means is 6 months ago, there was a completely old cell that has now died and regenerated into a new one there. So a cell's structure is much like a balloon. And if you think about that balloon, I used this analogy in the last video, and I'll talk about it again. If you think about a balloon, we talked about inflammation in the last one. I'm going to talk about cell structure and the quality of that balloon. If you've got a crappy old balloon, right, filled with helium, and then you've got this, balloon that you've paid for, and it's a better quality one, the balloon that's poor quality is going to sort of lose all of its air first, and the one that's higher quality is going to last longer. It's going to stay up in the air, and it's going to keep all its helium, and it's going to be a good balloon. Your kids are going to have fun with it for longer. The same thing happens in your cells. So the balloon or the cell wall, if it's made of good nutrients, it's going to last longer than a cell wall that's made from crap nutrients, shit food. So when we're talking about improving your health, improving your energy, improving your body shape, improving your hair, skin and nails, what we need are cells that have really good walls, really good lining, because they last longer. And every single cell in the body is made from fat, believe it or not. So our body creates cells or cell walls from fat. Now, this is nutritional fat, not the fat that you store in your body. It's nutritional fat. And the most important fat for our bodies is omega-3. I mentioned in the last video that we have a poor ratio in Western society. So improving the ratio of 3s to 6s and 9s in our body is really important. It's basically the first part of reprogramming your metabolism. It's a path that we take with the Fit Mum method. And that takes about 6 months to really start to get all of that good nutrition into every single cell in the body.
And turning over and repairing. And
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when you start to really see the difference in the strength in your nails. Your nails are growing faster. Your hair, holy crap, you need to go to the hairdresser every 3 weeks instead of 5 weeks because it's growing faster. That kind of stuff.
And I'm just going to stop you there. I could tell with Debbie when she was doing it right because her face structure started to change. And that's why she's like, yes.
Yeah, so omega-3 is really important because it provides structure, integrity to the cell wall. And these cells, we've got billions of cells in our body. Believe it or not, fat also is a building block for hormones. Now we're going into another area of benefits to omega-3, but I will touch on it lightly. If you want to have a good cycle, if you want to have, more babies, if you want to basically be as healthy as you can for as long as you can and not struggle with hormonal issues, then putting this stuff into your body consistently is very important for the hormonal cycle. So omega-3 is seriously one of the best nutrients, one of the focal points for metabolic nutrition, really.
And even down the track with menopause and things like that, it's going to help, and you're not going to be one of those ones that suffer really badly.
Moving on, so the omega-3 obviously takes around 6 months to really start to get integrated into every cell, and that's the one thing that we wanted to present to you tonight that would improve your hair, skin, and nails later on, plus a host of other things. What you can start to do now, though, is eliminate processed foods. And Megan's touched on this heavily, so I'm not going to really spend too much time on it. But as soon as you start to drop the processed carbohydrates, especially out of your diet, what happens is your body releases a lot of that puffiness, a lot of that swelling, because carbohydrates are very they like water, so they actually draw water into the cell and make you puffy, make you feel bloated, make you feel lethargic, all of that sort of stuff, and it really starts to affect your jawline, your eyes, under
and
your eyes.
mamas do complain that they feel bloated. Like a lot of mums say to me that they feel bloated in the stomach, and that their flat stomach is gone, and all that kind of
wash
thing.
your gut, that kind of thing. So the thing that you can start to do now, and you can test it, is really try and eliminate as much of the processed carbohydrates as you can. So what I mean by that is it's sugar, so added sugar, obviously juice. If you're going to boost juice and you're having them as your liquid meals, then again, that's something that you could clean up. There's the carbs in terms of bickies. If you're having heaps of breads and pastas and your body doesn't necessarily know how to utilize them, it's going to cause a lot of bloating and a lot of puffiness and so forth.
Yeah, you can just put them inside your window if you do a workout.
And that's what I was going to point out, is it's not demonizing these foods.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is we're going to try and teach you that you need to limit them. Doesn't mean you can't have them, you're just limiting them.
Yeah.
If you can then start to give them a place, that's when the magic starts to happen, because what you do is you start to teach your body how to partition its nutrients. You teach the body how to use what you're eating, and when you do that, it doesn't pop up here, it actually goes into here and you use it, right? And that's the core fundamental problem that a lot of us Westerners have, is we lead sedentary lifestyles, but we're fueling ourselves for marathons. Aren't we? So we have sedentary lifestyles.
like
we're
we're
fueling
starving.
ourselves like we're starving. We eat like we're starving, and
We eat for the
our body
masses.
literally doesn't know what to do with it, and then it comes out your pores. That's basically what happens.
Yeah.
So that's the science bit done.
Yeah, cool. We touched on what omega-3 you can add to your daily plan on the last feed. So if you haven't watched that, go back and watch it. That's lesson 7.
Yeah.
And then the next one is protein.
Why don't? Oh no, we're not going to touch on that tonight.
Oh, we're not.
No, we crossed that out. I think we're going to stick with the 2. That's omega-3 and eliminating processed sugar.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, we could go bang on about how awesome protein is.
Well, we did in the last one.
We
as
did
well.
in the last video.
Yeah.
You know, long story short, protein equals. Have you ever like had a keratin? Is it keratin treatment?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a keratin treatment
In
your hair, and you sort of washed your hair with this keratin? Well, believe it or not, if you put like steak in your body gets the steak and breaks it down into an amino acid.
Strengthens your body.
And then it goes through the bloodstream and goes into the hair and it strengthens your hair.
Yeah.
So you can, either or, up to you. I like to eat food. Protein, long story short, without me being too much of a smart ass, is the building blocks for everything in your body. So if you think of omega-3 as the cell wall, then everything that goes in that cell is basically protein. So if you want strong nails, if you want long, luscious, beautiful hair, perky, supple skin.
Yeah,
protein. Collagen, that's protein, collagen comes from the same place.
Protein slows down the aging process. So you will get fewer wrinkles and you will look younger.
Boom!
Leave
That's
it on
why I
that.
got you.
Yeah. You mean that's why I got you?
Huh? I said that's why I got you.
Yeah. But that's why I got you here. Yeah.
Why do you have me?
So you can explain the science behind it, and I can actually tell them
Yeah.
what the benefits are. Yeah, exactly. So I know every time I do a protein increase in my nutrition plan, my nails get longer and they get stronger. And then with my hair, it's not as long as I want it to be because I have to dye it all the time, but it will make your hair grow so long, so healthy. Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
I think we nailed this. We will see you tomorrow
You can
night.
tell it's Thursday.
Yeah. We'll see you tomorrow night for why diets don't work. That's going to be a very good one.
Yeah.
All right, so
don't
make
miss
sure you
that
tune
one.
in.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.